Hello, and welcome to a video in which I demonstrate how to set up Pro Tools for 7.1.2 immersive mixing, specifically setting up the I/O and internal layback for a post project for Hybrid Mix Lab. So this video assumes that you already went through and got the immersive monitoring setup in Control-C. And now you have opened up your file you're going to mix. It's probably this Simpsons here. This file here is for the class. And the first thing you want to do is go into the I/O, which is under Setup, I/O. And I would delete with whatever you see there. If you're starting fresh here, it's always good to delete all of the inputs, outputs, buses, and inserts that show up. And start fresh, because some might load up from a previous session. So once you've done that, I would go to the bus tab and make sure your bus tab here to the right of default is set to all buses. Do not use Dolby Atmos. This video is not about using Dolby Atmos. It's 7.1 discrete, 7.1.2. On the output tab, your default format's not going to be 7.1.2. And there are two path orders for that. Under 7.1.2, you want the SEMPTY, the second one there, left, right, center, LFE, etc. So definitely use the SEMPTY one. And let's go ahead now and create some outputs. So default. And if you want, you can do inputs. It doesn't really matter. We're not really going to be recording in this project. Your buses as well, definitely default those. And we can kind of look here and see what's been created. A 10 channel 7.1.2 master main output has been created, and these other ones are for the other outputs of the interface that aren't going to be used. And for the bus, there's also this main out that's been created. Now I would suggest you make a few more buses to have them around to use for different things that are 7.1.2 buses. In the next video, I'm going to demonstrate how to do a post-production routing scheme that uses folder tracks. So what I would say is make some new path, and let's make 8 7.1.2 buses, and we'll just leave them in here. And like the stereo projects we've done previously in the hybrid course, I'm going to use internal layback. We're going to need a couple buses to set that up. So the first bus is going to be the print bus, so I'm going to name it in advance. And the second bus is going to be the mix bus. So we'll do these two. And before we exit the I/O, just like we did with the stereo projects, very important that you set your default output buses for mono to go to that mix bus. So any new track, accent, etc., you create will feed the mix bus. Do the same for stereo as well, bus, mix bus. And if you happen to create another 7.1.2 bus, you might as well also have that go to the mix bus as well. We are now done with the I/O, so hit OK. And this is pretty simple, just like we did for stereo. The next step is to set up the internal layback routing. So what I'm going to do is make a 7.1.2 track, audio track. And I'm going to put it over here on the far left. And I've demonstrated this in the stereo part of the course. We're just going to name that our print track. And you can call it something different if you want, but it is going to be what we'll eventually record the mix to. And its output needs to feed the 7.1.2 main outputs. And the input needs to be fed by the print bus. And so now I've set that up. There's no feedback loop. We're going out of the main outputs. You can put that in input, so you'll be able to monitor through it. And then we're going to create a mix master fader now. Let's make another 7.1.2, but this time it's an aux input. And this will be the master fader. So you can call it whatever you want. I like to call it master. And that guy is going to feed that print track. So it's going to go off to the print bus, and it's going to be fed or sourced from the mix bus. So now, in the next video, I'm going to configure all of these tracks and feed them to submixes and that sort of thing, folder tracks and all that. But eventually they will terminate in the master bus. And the master bus is where you're going to put your bus limiting, and on your print track, you'll put your meter. But I will demonstrate that in another video. All right, hope this helps you out. Have a great day. Bye-bye.